Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your February 2016 General Tarotscope. It's Rena here. So, I'm going to be weaving in some of the astrological transits of the month with the tarot spread that I have drawn for you. So, we start the month with the sun in Aquarius, and so this is in your second house of earned income. And actually, there are several triggers to this second house, including the new moon there on the 8th of February. And then there's also Venus going into your second house on the 17th of February. When Venus goes there, Venus can bring money into the money house. So, what do you think about that? That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? And Venus tends to enjoy luxury. And so, anything that you buy during this time is more on the level of things that you have been wanting that perhaps you have been putting off that are not daily necessities. And maybe they're big ticket items. So, that's actually a very good time for you to spend more on particular things that you want. And with the sun there, that adds creativity to the mix. So, coming up with income streams, trying to really get a handle on your finances and what's coming in, what's going out. Mercury will be coming out of its shadow in mid-month and re-entering that second house where it retrograded at 1 degree on the 5th of January. So this Mercury retrograde has been mainly in your first house, in your own sign. So you may have felt a little bit off, in some ways while Mercury was in retrograde. I think a lot of us did. And I, for one, will be glad to see Mercury leave its shadow because I've had some residual things that have happened even after the official end of the retrograde on January 25th. So it's all about getting back up to speed. And as a Capricorn with Mercury retrograde in your own sign, maybe you have really thought a bit about how you present yourself to other people. And I don't think that it's necessarily always a pleasant energy and that it's just a matter of rethinking things. I think it could even bring up doubt. If you're having to kind of question why you're doing a certain thing, it might suggest that there is some reason swirling around it that would make you even do so to begin with. So, good riddance to the Mercury retrograde. And when it goes back into your second house, everything should be kind of flowing again because Mercury in the second house can lead not only to kind of coming up with ideas of income streams, but also you might hear word on something related to your work that directly connects to your ability to earn money. So this can be good for your career front in some way. Maybe you will get a raise, for instance, since there's going to be a new moon in this house. And yeah, so the card I picked for you for this month is the Queen of Pentacles. So there you go. Pentacles, money matters, career matters. For some reason, I got a hit with a single mother. And obviously, this is a general reading. There may be various scenarios going on, and I try to come up with more than one. But that was the first thing I thought because I got the reason for you being the Queen of Pentacles as the Six of Cups. And this can relate to children. So when I see the Queen of Pentacles as a self-sufficient woman, a queen can be a mother, and it's a mother who's taking care of business. And with that Six of Cups, I feel like it's possible that some of you have left a relationship because you were thinking of your children first. You were putting them first, and you're able to take care of yourself. You don't have to rely on the other person to support you financially. I'm even thinking that some of you may have felt that you were pulling more than your weight. And it may have gotten to the point where you thought to yourself, why do I need this aggravation? I can do better being by myself, because not only am I bringing in the money, but I'm also taking care of the children. So I don't need this hassle. And I do feel that some of you may have even moved back to your hometown to be close to your parents. I don't think that you necessarily moved in with them, because the Queen of Pentacles likes to do things by herself because she is in charge. And so it's not being in a subordinate position. It's somebody who is in control financially and also running her home. So with the Six of Cups, there is a sense of nostalgia and wanting to kind of tap into that. But I think that it's more of a practical measure than anything else. For others, it could have been that you are alone now because you ran into like a high school sweetheart or somebody from the past that you reignited some flame. And so this caused you to break off with the person that you are currently with. And so either one of those scenarios, this kind of seems more like a love reading than anything else. I really got that feel that this was more on the emotional level. But the higher message is the Ace of Cups. So this is suggesting that there is some new beginnings in love for you that kind of are part of whatever is happening. Because it's an ace, it's a beginning of some sort, but it's an emotional beginning. There is joy connected to this card. So I'm thinking that some of you, there may have been somebody that you met that is a viable partner. Now, you may not officially be in a relationship with, but this card may be suggesting that this person is a keeper and that it's a legitimate emotional connection. Um, this would be probably most appropriate for the Queen of Pentacles who left a prior relationship out of concern for her children. Capricorn, all month long, you have Mars in the 11th house of friendships and hopes and wishes. So you may find that you are more social than you typically tend to be, because the 11th house can also relate to groups. So, those of you who are politically oriented, especially if you live in the United States, you may find yourself immersed in the presidential campaign in some fashion, or in some other cause that really strikes your fancy. And this could be for anybody in any part of the world, obviously. But there is this sense of either social justice or issues surrounding friendships that you're really active with at this time. And the reason I say this is because if you are looking for a relationship, I find that sometimes it's really a good idea to meet people through your passions. If you have hobbies, if you have interests. Let's say that you're somebody that likes to read science fiction. You're a sci-fi geek. Well, where are you going to meet other geeks? Trekkies. You have to go to those conferences otherwise, but there might be groups that you could join. So it just makes it easier to find somebody that's on the same page with you, is what I'm getting down to here with that. But so anyway, let's talk about something else. I'm looking at, so the advice that you're getting is the Ten of Wands. Now, sometimes the Ten of Wands can be a card of burden because it's showing somebody who's carrying a heavy load. However, because it's wands, I think that whatever it is that you're endeavoring to do is something that really is your passion. It just may mean that you're going to have to work extra hard right now. Maybe it's going to be a very busy period for you at work. And definitely, as I said, with all those triggers to the second house, if you're getting a bump in your income, then there's a chance that you're going to be working more. So maybe this card is just suggesting that you take into account that you might be shouldering a lot of responsibility right now. And maybe it also is saying that if you need assistance, to reach out and ask for it, because I think a lot of Capricorns try to be as self sufficient as possible. And the Queen of Pentacles is that kind of solitary energy, somebody that likes to appear in control of the situation. But sometimes, especially if you are raising a family, you might need to call upon somebody to help out. And you should realize that there are people that would be willing to do so, and get over your pride. If you have a lot on your plate, it's really important to ask for help. So what's crossing you is the Empress card. And I was going to say that this is hoochie mama energy, but actually that's not fair. If it was in the reverse position, I would think that maybe some of you are dealing with a woman who, if you are in a relationship, is trying to steal your man, which sounds really yuck. I really dislike using that kind of terminology because people are not property, and so you can't steal somebody. But the Temptress, but that's more of the reverse position. So the Empress is about the mother archetype. If you are the Capricorn who moved back to your hometown to be close to your family so that you can raise your children and have somebody there, you might be clashing with your mother. That's always a possibility because, you like to run your own ship. And even if you respect your parents, you might feel like you have your own way of doing things and you don't want somebody trying to override your decisions. And this is something that happens, I'm sure, very often. I don't have children myself, but I'm sure that it's not uncommon for parents and adult children to clash over child raising techniques, even when the parent and the adult child generally get along. It's just human nature to want to do things your own way and feeling that the other person is thwarting your efforts. But the other possible reason that the Empress card is crossing you, it might be an actual person who is on the scene for some reason. Maybe you're interested in somebody that the Ace of Cups represent, but maybe this other person is still involved in a relationship with the Empress. Maybe it's the mother of his child. And to you, she is in the way of the two of you getting together. If this is the scenario, if this scenario is what's going on for you, please think about the idea of being honest in your dealings with this other person. Are you going behind her back in this relationship? If you are, does that speak of his integrity? Because you will get some men who say, "Oh, my girlfriend or my wife is cold. We're really not getting together. We're going to break up and all this stuff." But he's still with this person. We're only together because of the child, yada yada. We've heard it all. And the thing about it is, actions speak louder than words. Check, please. End of story. I don't want to hear all that other stuff until I hear the fact that you are really single. And other than that, not interested, not believing you necessarily. And so the point that I'm trying to make about all of this is don't allow a man to demonize the person that he's with, the mother of his child, because he's trying to make a case for getting with you, because that does not speak to high integrity. That actually should be a red flag as far as I'm concerned. But I digress, right? Anyway, the outcome is the Knight of Wands, and this could be you. This could be another person, and really, this card is kind of like a soldier type of an energy. It's somebody that's going into battle, but it can also just point to having a very adventurous outlook on life. I feel that if you have broken up with somebody, that this card is suggesting that now you feel a sense of freedom and you feel a sense of possibility, and that there is this kind of devil may care attitude that has taken over you, which is not typical of a Capricorn person. They tend to be much more serious. It could relate to an actual person who happens to be a Sagittarian. I have never met a Sagittarian that has been in a relationship with a Capricorn. Quite frankly, I would think that most Capricorns would be irritated by Sagittarians, and I am a sun in Sagittarius, so I'm dissing my own sign in this sense. But Capricorns tend to be very serious, and Sagittarians are happy go lucky, and Capricorns are very disciplined, and Sagittarians are freewheeling. So there are a lot of differences between those two signs. The other sign that this can relate to is a Scorpio person. So that's always a possibility too. And I think that Scorpio is much more suitable for most Capricorns. So, in any case, regardless of what this card means for you, I think it's an enthusiastic energy. And I think that it means that you're really going into a period right now where your work is happening, the money is coming in, there is a new love budding. So there's all the bases covered, and I hope you enjoyed this, Capricorn. All the best to you. If you'd like a personalized reading, just click on the link below. Take care, you guys. Bye.